What's up guys, good evening and welcome to another live session in collaboration with PropertyGuru, which is the leading property website in Malaysia, right? And this is a session where we do a lot of Q&A, and since last session, which is last month, a month ago, we asked you guys to actually, if you guys have questions, you can always go to the AskGuru segment in the PropertyGuru website. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, you can always go to PropertyGuru website now on your phone, right? Or we all use phone now, we seldom use PC already. And this is where you can actually go to the website itself. And this is me doing live demonstration for you guys, not play one. This is where you can go, you click on the top left, then there's this Ask Guru button right here. And when you click inside, you'll get to see a lot of frequently asked questions if you don't know where to start, and if you can always you can also check out the latest questions that people post. And just in case I'm not around to answer all the questions, right, there's always available experts from the industry that is going to help you with all your questions. So that's a good thing. And the best thing is all these are free, right? And if you guys want to ask any question, you can just pop your question there, hashtag AskGuruSean, then it will means that it's for me lah, it's dedicated to me. Okay, so you can easily just put up your questions. And now in order to make you guys ask questions there, we are giving out actually 5 200 ringgit Grab vouchers for lucky winners. And today there will be 5 lucky winners. So awesome, right? Get your question answered by me, still win money. Walao. Okay. So I think let's, if you guys are watching, again, thank you very much for watching. And if you can ask your friends to come in, if they have any real estate related questions, to come in as well. If you have any questions regarding real estate, you can always ask at the comment section below. I will answer and address them accordingly later. Or we can just jam and chit chat a little bit also can. But let's clear out the formal things first. We will answer several questions that was asked during last month, and this is question number 1. Could you explain about the benefits of getting a property agent and the key points when choosing a liable and suitable property agent? Thank you. So the nature of property agent, because of them being in the industry all the time, they will be the frontliners to property news, especially if you are an investor that is looking for sub-sales, right? Agents needs to be your friend. Before the news or the listing is actually published on PropertyGuru website, you must already know they are available. And if they are below market price, they need to contact you first, and this will be the winning edge for a lot of investors. So as an investors, we need to have, it's best to have a little bit more real estate agents as friends, as they will be your local intel. It's also a good resource to cross-check your data in terms of, like, let's say I have this unit, right? Let's say it's 500,000. I can call agent A, agent B, agent C to just check around the value, or to check around the reason behind why this particular owner is going to let go at this particular price, right? So that would be the benefit of having a good property agent as a friend. Or if you are going to sell a property, then it needs to be, number 1, registered, right? Because now there's this rent license that every agent needs to have. So that's very, very important. Number 2, it's it's very tempting to get a lot of agents to sell your property for you, because you would think that one agent is not going to do all the work. What if he doesn't work? Your unit will just stay there. Especially for rental. If your effort is based on one agent only, then it's entirely up to you whether you want to engage 3 agents or 1 agent. But based on experience wise, I always go for 1 agent when I'm in KL, but when I'm in JB, for my properties in JB, I will engage several agents altogether, just because I'm not familiar with the market. Okay, so those are like my intels. Okay, and what do I look for in a property agent? Number 1 would be trustworthy. This is very, very important. Number 2 would be honest. Number 3 will be hardworking and punctual. Okay, so the main reason why a lot of people are not so happy with property agents is because property agents do barely reports to the owner or the client in that sense. Because I don't know whether this agent, right, let's say today I want to sell my property, hey, hello Mr. Agent, then that's all. I send pictures over, then I need to wait. Then 1 month later, you call the agent. Hey, what's the progress? Oh, I brought two buyers go and see. They didn't like it because of this. I'm still working. The ads is actually live. Actually, they did a lot of things, just that they did not let you know. And this needs to change within the market itself. And as an owner itself, it's also, of course, the logic is I hire them. I give them commission. Of course, they must work for me. But it doesn't work that way. So it's also smarter to be an owner that is a little bit more proactive in that sense, right? So those are the qualities that I look for in a property agent. And surprisingly, like a lot of the property reviews that I do in my YouTube channel, a lot of them are all my friends, all are property agents. And when they get that particular unit of spectacular view that is very limited, we get to record those and to be part of the channel itself. So that's very cool. That also describes the nature of property agents having the intel. It's like a LAN cable. Anything, oh, this auntie and that uncle tak ngam one, or whatever, all these rumors, right? You ask agents, all they know. Yep. So that's for number 1, and this is by Lee. I have no idea how to pronounce this. But anyway, thank you so much for asking. Just like that, won $200 Grab voucher. Wow, so easy one. Anyway, moving on to question number 2. This is by email. I would love to search for my first house. Should I buy with an agent or directly go to the developer? Which offers the best? Okay, there's several scenarios here. Number 1 is how, okay, so it depends on how you got to know about the project, number 1. Number 2 is what kind of properties are you buying. Okay, so let's address the first part first. If you've seen the ad on the property portal, or if you've seen the ad on any social media and you click in, right, then it depends on who is going to serve you, and that lead, you are a lead. So you are a lead to this particular agent, and it's best that you just follow that agent, because if you suddenly go to the agent, then when you go to the sales gallery and you meet the developers team or the sales team, suddenly when you come back another day and directly go to the sales team, guess what? The commission will also go back to the real estate agent. So it's somewhat the same, unless that the service was really bad. The agent FFK you many times, then they were late, they were very rude, then that's excluding the case. But on a normal basis, it depends on where you get to know the project, and that will be that source. Then if you are going into a property that no one served you before, you are a fresh blood, then I would suggest it's to go with the developer side instead. Because personally, I prefer the person who sells me the project is going to be the person that is going to accompany me during the vacant possession period. Simply said, he can sell me the property. When I get the property, he needs to be around to really answer, so that it's not based on sales talk or whatsoever. So that's a personal thing that I kind of prefer in that sense. But there are also cases where I think there are some other questions where it's not as moral, but I think we will touch about that later. Okay? But which offers the best? By right, all prices needs to be standardized. Whether or not it's from the agent or it's from the developer, all prices needs to be the same. And it's only logical to be the same. If you imagine agent A gives better price than agent B, and they give better price than the developer itself, then it's kind of weird in that sense, right? Provided the agent is working for the developer. So we also see nowadays in this kind of property scenario where there are bulk purchases, right? that's a whole different topic altogether. Where if you go in as an individual to a particular sales gallery, the price that you will get, it's standard price. So if you are a part of a bulk purchasing group where people buy 50 to 100 units one go, then there will be definitely bulk discounts, and you need to either pay to join this bulk purchasing group, or you need to have special connections to join this group in order to enjoy the discounts. Okay, so that's besides the case. In this answer itself, it doesn't really matter, but if you think about the convenience, it's best to get from the developer straight. But if you have clicked at the ad and got to know the project via an ad, it's best to just follow that lead. So that's pretty much straightforward, and that is by email. Thank you very much for asking, and that's all for question number 2. Okay, pretty quick one today. So let's head on to the website, and let's head on to the live chat and see who's around. So if you guys are here, do say hi. If not, I feel very sad and lonely here. So I see email, are you the guy that asked? I think so. Okay, anyway. So Eva, hi Eva. Anyone else? Yeah, so Sun Ping and Pua CL, thanks for hanging out with me. Hi John. I guess there's no questions yet, but if you guys have any questions at all, do just ask at the comment section, or do interact, just say hi or whatsoever. Okay, just hang out a little bit because it's 9 o'clock. Let's chill a bit. If there's no other questions, let's move on to question number 3. Okay, this is from John Tan. Is it okay to pressure property agents for more discount in addition to the discounts offered by developers? Maybe pressure the agent to offer their commission as additional discounts to the buyer. My thinking is, if we are as a buyer cannot get more discounts from agent, might as well we directly liaise with the developer staff. I know maybe my thinking is a party to the property agent, but I heard experienced investor would pressure the property agent for more discount, including the agent's commissions. Appreciate if you could offer your opinion on this. Thank you. Hashtag AskGuru Sean. To me, first of all, I was kind of upset when this kind of topic is actually brought up, because ultimately, agent is still doing this as their job, right? But is this kind of practice in the industry? Yes. Do I like it? No, absolutely not. Okay, so for developers, there are several types. One is when they have their own internal sales team, and they will not let any other party represent them. Okay, so that's pretty direct, and you can only buy directly from the developer itself. So that is usually the those public listed companies, those big boys that we know in the market. These are their common practice. And when do they bring in sales agent? After the property has been sold for 2 years' time, then another 2 more years, only the property will be VP'd. Suddenly they kanjiong, they need more sales. Only then they will bring in external sales agent to represent them, just because they need a little bit more stimulation, right? So with that arrangement, then it will always have this conflict whether you buy directly from the developer or you buy directly from the agent. Do they matter? And that falls back to question number 2 just now. Then there's another type of developer where upfront they don't have any sales staff, and they only sell via agencies. And usually there will be like 3 to 4 different agencies selling the properties at one go. And in this case, the developer will make sure that all prices are standardized, and they will always like red flag anybody who is trying to offer any commission. I think it's a great no-no, because number one, it just spoils market, and it's just simply not professional at all. Of course, whether I do it or not, the owner need not to tell anybody, and the agent just collect the commission and give you underground. It's very easy to do, but I think ethically it's just not right. Okay, and the logic is also, if I get then the logic of the question is, I get from an agent just only because he or she can offer me more discount. I think that's wrong. So that's really, really wrong, because I personally don't like this at all. So to me, I would always go, of course, if again, back to question number 2, I will always choose to directly deal with the developer, because when I get the keys, VP time is just way easier, because in this real estate agency land, a lot of agents are not definitely doing this for a long run. A lot of people are just here maybe 2 to 3 years and they don't want to do it already. It's very normal in that sense. So getting from the properties developer directly, I think that would be the best, in my personal opinion lah. Okay, so if you ask more discount, they can always ask the developer, the agents, maybe if this property agency, it's going to take up 50 to 100 units directly from the developer. So it's a whole different case where this group, agency A, let's say, agency A speaks to developer and tell them the remaining units all I take, then they will represent the developer. It means indirectly it's about purchase. Okay, then these agents gets to then have a little bit more room to play with discounts. Then in that sense it's possible. If not, the developer, as a developer, if myself as a developer, I will ensure that all prices are the same. If you want to give your commission away like that, immediately the engagement will be terminated almost immediately. Yeah, it's a big no-no in the industry lah. Okay, so something good. And as investors, and you see the experienced buyer and investor would pressure the property agent, right? Sometimes, right, very 可怜 also, all these agents. And people do this also. Of course, there's like 2% or 3%, but it doesn't really matter. Sub-sales, okay. Sub-sales is a lot of money, but if you do like new property sales, right, nothing much and they earn. Yeah, so this is just my respect for the profession, my respect for the agents, and a lot of my friends are still doing agency, so don't do that lah. Experienced buyers, don't do that. And I think that's all for question number 3. Wow, this one sounds a little bit like sad a bit. Okay, let's change the mood a little bit. Question number 4. Dear Sean, how to choose to invest in a property? Leasehold left, 50 to 60 years, or freehold condo? Hashtag AskGuru Sean. To me, this is rather direct. Okay, so for those who don't know, leasehold and freehold is actually a land tenure for every property that you buy within West Malaysia. East Malaysia, there's a whole different ball game altogether, and let's keep that for another day. Okay, so why 50 to 60 years on leasehold is a problem? A lot of banks until today still have difficulty in providing financial support to buyers if they want to acquire a property that's 60 years left in their lease. And imagine if you want to buy today, it's also very difficult. Imagine when you want to sell when the lease is left with 30 over years. Okay, in KL, are there any projects that has been renewing their lease before? No. In Selangor, I think there's one property in Kelana Jaya that is very close to the lease, and the whole market is looking at that. However, based on my experience in Penang, there are a lot of cases where leasehold properties has been converted successfully into freehold. Suddenly, price per square feet, right? It's 300 ringgit per square feet. Suddenly, after conversion into 99 years again, the property price, make a lot of money. So suddenly becomes 700. This one is around Queens Bay area. Right, so it has been done in Penang before. KL, we have yet to see any projects that is with 99 years lease expiring. Yeah, so if you are going to buy still the 60 years property, the 60 years leasehold property, the only reason why I think that it's really, really attractive, it's next to my mother's place or it's next to my current place and it makes a lot of sense to buy it, okay. Or the rental returns is absolutely handsome, okay. So it means because of the lease left 60 years, there will be very limited buyers that can actually buy the property because the financing is not going to be very good also. So if I'm going to acquire the property using a little bit more cash, then the price can be at a better rate, then the rental returns can make sense. Because if you are a tenant, you don't really care whether it's leasehold or freehold, right? So the only reason why a lot of people buy leasehold properties nowadays, number one, is no choice. Number two, the rental returns are just better just because the entry price is lower than a freehold property. Okay, and this only applies to apartments. If it's a landed property, the freehold label is very, very important if you want to resell your property in the future. Okay, so I think that somewhat covers it. But if you want to choose to invest, right, again, investing, it depends on are you going to play the capital appreciation game or are you going to play the rental return game? So that's something that you need to decide yourself first. And then that will actually be an element to consider when you want to think about leasehold or freehold. So if leasehold 99 years, I will usually take the 99 years leasehold because leasehold tend to be 15% to 20% lower than a freehold property, usually. Okay, but this one left 60 years, then it's a bit risky. Okay, so I think that's all for this question. And if you guys are watching this live, thank you very much, and I'm very appreciative of that. If you have any questions, do just pop up at the comment section. I will answer them immediately. Then if you have any further question that you don't know you want to ask, you can always go to Ask Guru segment in the Property Guru website. Just after your question, hashtag Ask Guru Sean and stand a chance to win the 200 ringgit Grab voucher. Wow, too bad I cannot ask myself. Okay, so let's see who is around. Woon Pei Kion, hi. Ting Ming Yuan, hi. Ren Yi, what's up, man? Ini Asa. So I think let's try to answer one. Okay, Jack Chong, sorry, something wrong with my England. There are more and more developments in Taman Desa. Is it okay to invest Taman Desa in future? Sometimes like this happens in a lot of places that are hot. Mont Kiara lah, KL Central lah, KLCC lah, Bangsa South lah, Cheras lah, right? Why these places that are so popular and so hot constantly will attract only more people to go there? Why? Because there will be demand. And when there's demand means that there are a lot of job opportunities around that area. So if you look into Taman Desa itself, in proximity there are just a lot of offices. That's why this location has always been really, really attractive, right? And if you want to always get a property, always do check two data points. Number one would be the rental returns. So it's important to check rental returns, and one more is called the past transacted price. These two will help you determine the price that you're buying is either at market value, above or below. Okay, this is what I call the Gailan theory in my channel. Let's say today you buy a 100 Catty Gailan for 25 ringgit. Is it expensive or cheap? I have absolutely no clue because I have never bought any Gailan before, despite me doing this theory, right? So it's important to go to the market and check what's the normal price of per Catty of Gailan, just like property. Like Taman Desa, is it okay to buy or not? It determines whether the rental rates are good or not. If the rental rates continue to be good, it means there's a lot of demand. If the past transacted price has been constantly increasing, it means demand as well. So in that sense, then can buy. If everything is dropping, then it's a big no-no. Okay, so this is how I determine whether a property can buy or not. Okay, so thank you very much, Jack. Jack is the baby for the Incredibles, right? Okay, any other question? Let's look into Fong Ren Yi. Hi Sean, do you have any good or recommended way for an investor to access whether a property is maintained well and retains its value over time, considering the problems JMB and RA, especially in dealing with defaulters. Okay, for those who don't understand, right? JMB means Joint Management Body, RA means Resident Association. In other words, those are the management team or management committee for a particular building or a particular taman. Okay, so those with strata title is called JMB, those with individual title is called Resident Association. Rukun tetangga lah in that sense. Because a lot of people in Malaysia don't like to pay maintenance fee, so sometimes when you want to buy into a new building, right, if there's a lot of defaulters, which means a lot of people who refuse to pay maintenance, the committee cannot maintain all the facilities. Like suddenly the fountain need to off, the lights need to off, the lift maintenance need to be scheduled longer intervals, and those will affect the performance of a particular building, therefore affecting the price of a property. How do you then check whether this particular team is functioning or not? I will always go through the minutes, and if you go to a sub-sale property, the minutes are published in the lift lobby or their papan kenyataan there, right? If it's a new property, then a bit tough, and JMB usually is formed immediately, but the trick is MC. During the forming of management committee after JMB within 2 to 3 years time, that's the tricky portion. So if you want to determine the property performance based on JMB, right, it's quite tough, Renyi. Personally, I have yet to use this as a consideration because it has never crossed my mind. But one thing though, like based on the property that we reviewed, properties in Mont Kiara areas are super well maintained, right? A 15-year-old building still tip-top condition, the property price therefore maintains. But then you have some where they are more investment oriented. You know which one that I'm talking about because if you watch the channel as well. So those that are more focused on Airbnb ones, those are usually the ones that I try to keep away from. Okay, so in order to determine, instead of using the JMB, I will use the nature of the property instead before I want to buy. Okay, Renyi, thank you so much for asking, and do ask your questions in the website lah. So you just hashtag AskGuru Sean and win yourself 200 there. Then you can buy me makan.